Right.
Flynn to make his debut. Exciting for him. Do you think he's ready after one game in Waffle?
Yeah, we held him back a little bit at training as well. I think Waffle had a bye a few weeks ago, and rather than play him 60 minutes and 80 minutes, he almost played a full game last week, so he's sort of over-ready. And then we got to the point where we just got to get him in, and it'll take a bit of time to connect with the group, I would have thought, and Bailey pushing forward. So there'll be a bit of change there, but we're excited about it and looking forward to what the future looks like, knowing that we're starting with it tomorrow.
What does that mean to your forward line and to your midfield group and the structure of your midfield group?
I don't know yet. We've got Oscars due back probably after the bye. So, and then with the form that some of our forwards have been in, we're really liking what Jakey's been doing, and I think Jack Darling's really finding some good touch as well with some of our smalls. So we're still evolving, really, aren't we? Our best 22, we probably haven't seen it for a number of years, so we're getting closer as we go.
Was it hard to drop Jack Williams and squeeze him outside? He has played.
Yeah, you wouldn't say omitted, but I suppose you have to. We've been so happy with his form. For a 20-year-old to fill the void for second ruck it's tough every week. And then just his craft, and I said this on the radio the other day, you probably don't see it, but he's the guy that acknowledges, okay, there's a outnumber there for us, I won't go there, or I need to halve that contest, or just the little things that they're hard to teach. We see that with Jack, so I think long term he's going to be really good for us.
Have you managed to lure Shannon Hearn back west to present the jumper?
I think he lives here, doesn't he? But I saw him the other day. Is he doing it? I think it's on the cards. We made the call pretty late yesterday to bring Flynn in. But I think I saw Shannon here yesterday. So I didn't put two and two together, though. So I'll have to do that. Someone will do it for us, I'm sure. We'll announce it tomorrow, pre-game. A bit different than a debutant, but it's still pretty big for Matt.
Tough one first up too, Rowan Marshall.
Yeah, he's in great form. Yeah, must average 6 or 7 clearances himself. But every week you seem to get these rucks they're dominant. Gawn, O'Brien, and then we get Marshall this week. So, yeah, big challenge for our guys. The fact we've got 2 now might give us a little bit of a different look. When someone might be struggling, we can bring in Bailey or vice versa. So, I think the last time we did that was probably around 18, 19. So, yeah, looking forward to see what it looks like.
What does it mean for Bailey, and how's that forward line going to look?
I don't know. Yeah, whether we start with Bailey and in the ruck, I'm not sure. I am sure. I'm just not going to tell you. So we'll just have to see how we go. So the flexibility's there. It's going to be wet, or it's been a wet week, so we just got to keep an eye on that as well, what that means to the side. But yeah, we just thought we'd start it now and see how we go.
Just on that, any concerns about Optus soccer game tonight? It's been a bit patchy.
Yeah, not really. No, it seems to be okay when we play there. I'm sure they're doing everything they can. There's not much we can do about it now, anyway. So we'll just have to adapt, I suppose. Ideally, we'd like it in a little bit better condition, but I don't think we're complaining about it.
And Andrew Gaff back as well. What was the decision to bring him back this week?
Two things. I think deserves it. His form's been really good, and on the weekend, it probably the extra bit of impact on a game was there for us to see with the Waffle side. I think Flinny helped him as well, but his form's been pretty solid. And then Hunty's gone out with an injury is the second thing. He's got his toe. We gave him a week off a few weeks ago, and probably should have given him 2 because he still carried it again after a week or 2. So he'll be at least 2 weeks, Hunty. So with a bye coming up after that, so we'll give him a good 3-week break, and that gives opportunity for Gaffy, who's in the best form out of our mids. So it was pretty straight up inclusion.
Did you feel like you needed experience after what happened last week in Adelaide?
No, not really. No, we're disappointing with the overall effort from last week and the work rate. We got outworked. The travel games have been a concern. I think we all know that. But the blowout and in particular the first quarter, we didn't see that coming. So the way we defended is something we really concentrated on. We didn't defend well because we had pretty good supply early. And then once the floodgates opened, we couldn't stop it. So I don't want to put that on our older players. I think collectively we've got to be better than that.
The Contested possession last week hurt you a bit from the opposition. Has that been a focus this week, getting that right?
It's a focus every week. Every time we scout now, it seems to be, you take away the opposition's ball movement, you're going to go close. So definitely with Adelaide, they're probably not known for that as much. They sort of embrace contest a bit more. So it just shows you how bad our defence was, the fact that they could get through us pretty easily. Melbourne uncontested marks is a big part of the game, and the Saints up until last week was the same. So I think every team focuses on taking away the opposition's ball movement, and if they're high for uncontested marks, it's a pretty easy focus. So that's what we'll do this week.
What do you need to watch for against St Kilda and a Ross Lyon coach?
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think they've got any injuries. I think they're like full book, and that hasn't been there for a while. And some inclusions they've got, it's their best, almost their best 22, I would have thought. So we're really clear about how hard it's going to be this week. Their ball movement versus their contest work, their front half game, I think they're still in the top 5 for that. Conversion's been their issue, and generating enough scores, we sort of get that. We've been there too. So yeah, we're under no illusions of the game in front of us tomorrow. And if it's a bit wet and windy, and it's going to be on.
Just back on Hunt's toe, is it just, do you know what type of injury it is?
I wish I could tell you. Sore? I don't know. I think it's a ligament thing that you can deal with, but he probably gets to 33, 34k an hour when he gets top end speed. Probably only gets to 30 at the moment. And whilst that's pretty good for everyone here, for him to be at his best, he needs to be able to explode. And so hence the reason why he could play, but not to his maximum. So we'll just give him a couple of weeks and he should be fine.
The fact that Marshall tends to play alone in the ruck, and you can bring Matt Flynn in and split the ruck duties between Bailey, does that make this a good week to bring him in?
I haven't seen that work a lot, to be honest. The 2 ruck situation, sometimes when it works really well. You probably think, looking at the stats, it works less than it works. Does that make sense? So I think our long-term goal was Bailey's a forward that pinch hits in the ruck, not a double ruck combo. So I think that's where we're heading. I just don't know what that looks like tomorrow. So it might be a bit of both tomorrow. But I think long-term, you need a ruck he's your ruck, and then you need a forward that can pinch hit. The really good bonus of having Bailey as a forward that can pinch hit is his apprenticeship as a ruckman must be almost 100 games now. So he's got that craft done well enough that he can handle that. This is the forward craft that we've missed probably 10 weeks after a pre-season of it. So we're sort of at the beginning of that, what it looks like at AFL level. So that's the exciting part. But yeah, I don't think 2 rucks is necessarily a way to go forward. I don't know if it's an advantage or not.
So what do you see in Bailey as a forward from what little you have seen?
Well, we drafted him as a forward. He's 200 centimetres. He's got a great leap, and he's good at ground level, and he's got high end speed. So he's got all those elements that we think can, make a good forward. But there's the craft part it's new. So yeah, and his experience now at AFL level is enough to suggest that he'll learn pretty quickly. But that's the next step for him, and that's why we picked him up. I don't know what draft it was. Must have been 5 years ago now. So I think he's ready.
The attack is going to be where the significant change is going to be, isn't it? Because Bailey goes in there now. Oscar comes in 2 or 3 weeks' time.
Yeah.
It's a big shift in how you structure the pecking order, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, it is, and we're obviously in a rebuild, so we're trying to work on getting our youth in as well, and getting the longer term picture. As much as we want to win right now, we've still got an eye on the future as well. So looking at Jake's form, how do we complement that with some inclusions in our forward line is going to be interesting. So good problems to have. Like, our availability is not St Kilda's level, but it's getting better. And hopefully in the back half of the year we could have some good match committee discussions around form and who deserves to play.
Is there a worry that, given how well Jake has played and given how well suited he's looked to that role and that place in the structure, you might actually add more talent and get a diminished result?
Maybe for Jake, but the objective is to win. So if we can we don't want to just have to kick it to Jake to score. So, and he doesn't want that, or he might want that. But I'm sure the forward line and all of us would appreciate if we spread the load it's the best way to go. So, yeah, trying to get the best out of everyone's our goal, knowing that not everyone can be the guy that kicks 4 or 5. So I don't think we're out there to win a Coleman for Jakey. I think we want to get a really good forward line that's connected and spreads the load, and that's the ultimate goal, I'm sure, for every side.